Chevy, Ford, and Ram, the three best-selling pickups in America. And thanks to GM who flew me out here and who hooked these up to a just under 5,000 pound trailer, we've got all three of them with the V8s. So let's take them on the road and see which one is the towing road champ. Coming up next on the Fast Lane Truck. So under the hood of the Ford is the 6.2 liter V8 that puts out 411 horsepower and 434 pound-foot of torque. Now this particular one has the 3.73 towing axle, which is the one you want for towing. So this rig, as all of them, are set up for maximum towing. Now we have the Monroney here, and MPG wise we're at 13 combined and $53,000 and 560 for this particular Ford. So let's take it on the road and see how the Ford compares to the Chevy and the Ram. I'm in the Ford right now, and as you probably know, this is the most popular vehicle in the United States. And there's a reason for that. Everything in this truck is ergonomically easy to use. There's this big shifter. It's very manly, it's very butch, it's very honest in the way that it's designed. It says what it is. It says, I'm a comfortable, big, powerful work truck, and it is a big, comfortable, powerful work truck. It is also expensive. Check this out, almost $53,000 for a pickup. Can you imagine your grandfather? He'd be rolling over in his grave if he read that number. On the other hand, you know, you get what you pay for, and Ford does have a well-earned reputation for quality, for dependability, and of course for power. And that's what this one is all about. With the 6.2 liter engine, this is the most powerful one of the various engine types you can get in the Ford F-150, including of course the EcoBoost, which is a popular vehicle in Colorado. But if you want the one that's got the, as Nathan would say, big cojones, this is the one to get. So that's why I took it out first. This is what Chevy and Ram are shooting for. This is the king of the hill. Now, I did say it was honest. It's also a little bit dated at this point. Everything's starting to feel like it's maybe just a few years too old. And you know, there's a new F-150 coming, and they probably need it because these controls are starting to feel a little bit plasticky, especially for a $53,000 truck. And it's starting to get just a little bit on the dated side. So I've got a flat bit of road ahead of me. I've got the Solo DL set up, and we're going to see how fast the Ford goes from 0 to 60. Now you may be asking yourself, why are we doing 0 to 60 testing with a trailer that weighs just under 5,000 pounds? Well, the reason for that is if you're merging onto an expressway or highway, you want to know how fast this can safely merge onto the expressway. This is also real world testing, so it means we're under not ideal conditions, but we will use the same stretch of road for all three trucks. Now keep in mind that I will just floor it because, well, that's the way that most people drive, and I am going to keep the air conditioner on because I'm in Texas and it's blazingly hot out there, so deal with it. All right, here we go. 0 to 60 in the F-150, real world testing. I'm just going to floor it, and we're going to see what this Ford will do. Here we go. Oh, a little bit of wheel spin. There's 20. Here comes the power. 50 and 55, and here comes 60 right there. All right, there we have it. Ladies and gentlemen, 12.19 seconds. 12.19 seconds. And it does sound good, doesn't it, when it's in full roar? So let's do the Ram next and see how that compares to the Ford. We're going to leave the Silverado for last because it should be the fastest because it is the most powerful. So right now, the number for the Ram to beat the Hemi is 12.19 seconds. And yes, it's a Hemi. In fact, it's a 5.7 liter Hemi that puts out 395 horsepower and 410 pound-foot of torque. Now this truck has a little bit different axle ratio, and that would be 3.55, so it's going to be a little different when we're towing. But otherwise, all three of these trucks are almost identical in terms of capability. Price-wise, not so much. This one is $40,395 as tested with a combined 15 miles to the gallon. So let's take the Ram for a ride and see how it goes. All right, all you cowboys and cowgirls, I am now in the Ram Express. And this is, and don't get mad at me Ram folk, the least powerful and of course the least expensive at just over $40,000. So, it feels it. The interior is a little plasticky, and that's because we're not comparing apples to apples, but apples to oranges. This is the Express version, which means I don't have that beautiful big screen. I don't have a lot of the goodies that the almost $3,000 Ford had. But the engines are as close as you can get, and that is apples to apples, and really that's what we're comparing at the end of the day, and that's what we want to see in terms of 0 to 60 times. Now I think all of these trucks are relatively similar in terms of reliability, dependability. I mean, Ford, Ram, Dodge, and Chevy has been building pickups for a long time, and they know what they're doing. So there is one test, and that is of course 0 to 60, and we're going to do it right now. And this is very impromptu once again, keep that in mind. It's real world testing, and I'm just going to floor it and see how the Ram compares to the Ford. Here we go. Ford, there's 20. That Hemi is now in full roar. Here comes 40. Here's 50. Come on, 60. And 55. And there's 60. Oh my. You guys are not going to be happy with this. 15.84. A full 3 seconds slower than the Ford that I just tested. And of course, smaller displacement engine, 5.7 liter Hemi versus a 6.2 liter Ford. And it's producing less torque and less horsepower, and that 0 to 60 time reflects that. So, take that as it is, because next is the Chevy Silverado, the brand new Corvette engined Silverado, which should be, on paper at least, the fastest from 0 to 60. The Ford is the one to beat. Let's go do that one and find out if we've got a new king of the towing hill. Alright, so under the hood of the Chevy is the new best-in-class 6.2 liter V8 out of the Corvette. This is the LTZ model. It has a 3.73 towing axle, so it's identical to the Ford. And get this, it has 420 horsepower and 460 pound-foot of torque, which is, well, best in class, at least at this moment in time. So, what does all that torque and horsepower do when you've got just under 5,000 pounds that you're towing? Let's find out right now and compare it to the other two. Here we go, the brand new 2014 Chevy Silverado with the 6.2 Corvette engine. And I got the numbers on how much this cost, and we are looking at $50,000, just over $50,000, $815, and that's with a destination of under $1,000. Now, the important stuff, of course, is that this is the most powerful pickup that you can buy in this class. All three of these pickups are actually configured to be the best towing package, the most powerful towing package that the manufacturers provide, at least in a light-duty truck. And I have to say, GM has done a really nice job of upgrading and improving the new Silverado. It's much more luxurious, much more comfortable. All the surfaces are soft. I love the way that this steering wheel feels. The ride has been much improved. It's very car-like, if I can use that overused term again, in that it doesn't feel like there's actually, two different parts of this truck. It doesn't feel like there's a front end that's doing something different than the rear end, which is honestly the way that a lot of pickups in the past used to feel. The brakes are solid and linear, and the ride is, well, you could take this across the country with probably a family of 4 or 5 in comfort, and it can be your family truckster. But none of that really matters, does it? Because the question is, will this go under the Ford, which was, well, the king of the towing hill? So here we go, 0 to 60 with the biggest, baddest Silverado ever made, I believe, at least in the light-duty truck. And I'm just going to floor it. Real-world testing, air conditioner is on, deal with it. Here we go. I've got it floored. Two-wheel drive. There's the roar of the engine. Oh yeah, we've got the power coming on. Here comes 50, and here comes 60. Right there. Oh my, oh my, oh my. That is 12.72, which I believe is, let me look at the time, very similar to the Ford. In fact, that's a half a second slower than the Ford, which, well, is what it is. All right, that was so close. We got to try it one more time just to see if this Chevy can beat the Ford. So I'm going to point the camera right down at the dashboard. You guys can watch this one. Here we go. Just flooring it. Oh yeah, that's a lot of speed. Here comes 40. And here comes 60 right there. Oh yes! Oh, check it out. 11.25. 11.25. That was a much faster run indeed. Very impressive. Whoa, it really felt like it was going there. That felt by far the fastest. Congratulations, Chevy. Well, there you have it. 11.25. The new king of the towing hill, the Chevy Silverado with the Corvette engine. Of course, on paper and now in real life, it is the fastest. And you're going to say, well, the Ford didn't have 2 tries at it. And you're right. That's why we need to take all of these trucks, especially this one, and put it up against the real challenge, the Ike Gauntlet, which we do up in Colorado, where we take the pickup from about 9,000 to 12,000 feet of elevation and really give it a powerful and grueling towing try. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Truck. Thanks for watching, because, cars are for wussies. All right, I drive cars, and maybe they're not for wussies. Anyway, I'm having way too much fun towing. See you next time on the Fast Lane Truck. Ciao. Ladies and gentlemen, right here we have the brand new 2014 Toyota Tundra. Next to it, we have the Ford EcoBoost. And over here, we've got the brand new Ram 1500. And of course, Andre, our very helpful trained mechanic. So Andre, today is an epic pickup challenge.
Yeah.
You know what we're gonna do?
Что? Чтобы будем что-то возить?
No, we're gonna have you hook up a lot of boats. Or actually, the same boat, the TFL test boat, while we figure out which of these is fastest from 0 to 60 with the boat and without the boat. And you know what that means?
Хорошо, хорошо.
We're going to have some fun. Coming up next on the Fast Lane Truck.